Hello, everyone. Uh, it's been a wonderful week for me, to be honest. A lot of updates coming in, a lot of enhancements coming in, and I was just waiting for this particular moment to start, you know, to be right in front of all of you guys and explain our latest advancements for our previous week. So I hope that everyone has buckled up and ready to go for today, right? Can you just give me a confirmation whether I'm properly audible or visible? Yeah, I can see some names popping up. Thank you, Akshay. Redika, hi, Redika. Am I properly audible and visible, guys? And I'm also sharing my screen, so if you can just give me a confirmation, that would be great. Yes. Okay, thank you for the confirmation, everyone. So everyone, it's great to see all of you guys once again. Like I said, I was waiting for this particular moment, waiting for this particular day to be, precise. Okay, I think it's time to get started, right? Uh, let's look straightforward into our screen right now. EalSuite evolution, form guardian validation, enhanced warehouse transfers, and we have refreshed save buttons and more. So we have concentrated on some validations, some transfers, and also on some user interface. All right. So I think everyone is ready. Let's bring in our release note. So we will be discussing about what got released on 24th of the month of February. So let's get started. We'll be first taking a closer look into what do we mean by form guardian. So elevate your form creation process with the ability to set comprehensive validations. And this means you can ensure all form submissions meet your criteria before they're accepted. Complete with error messages for guidance. So watch this space as we extend Form Guardian to more areas within EalSuite, enhancing data integrity across the board. Then we have two enhancements. The first one is regarding warehouse transfer. Embrace flexibility in logistics with support for multiple units in or during warehouse transfers. So this updates simplifies managing diverse stock types, quantities, and streamlining your inventory processes. Next one, it's about user interface, that is refreshed save button. So experience our improved save button now with a sleeker design and handy save a new option. So this particular tweak is all about making your workflow more efficient and intuitive and experience now in customer, supplier, and item creation. So we'll be taking a look into that as well. And we had three resolved issues. One related to the tax method when it comes to the conversion of a lead to a customer, then the way in which the navigation bar was highlighting when we were going into the projects module. And finally, the broken table when it comes to announcement section has also been fixed. So no time to wait. We'll just we'll just move on here into elevating form creation process with Form Guardian, empowering comprehensive validations and error guidance. So set comprehensive validations and you'll have error messages for your guidance and ensure your submission criteria are met, and expansion of Form Guardian will be our agenda for today. We'll be starting off with that. And let me just bring one of my workspaces to show how Form Guardian works. So as always, we'll get started with our settings and we'll go to our first branch itself. And under general preferences, you could see the forms. And as we all know that we can create forms under all of these modules. Right now, the first important point, we have introduced our Form Guardian under employees. So you come here and you can see the list of employee forms here. So I'll be creating a new employee form. So employee form new. First thing. I'm not going to assign any staff to it. So every staff will have an access to this particular form. Now we need to add in the fields. So I'll be adding the fields like this. Yes. Now you can see right in the selected column section, you can add a group as well. So let me just add a group and I'll bring the group like this. And there's a reason why I'm doing it, and you will get to see why. So what are the name, date of birth, gender, and all of these comes under? It comes under personal details, right? So I can group it. Now, if you want to change the grouping also, you can do it. You can drag and drop it. You can simply delete it if you want to. Then it will be going into the general field section. You can re-add it if you want to. Everything is possible. Right now, yeah. Then let's add another group called current address. I'll be adding all this under current address. Then I'll be adding permanent address. Yes. I can add in all the permanent address. Then I'll be adding another section called employee details with respect to the company. So that will be date of joining, employee type, status, department, designation, job title, etc. So I'm submitting it and a new employee form has been created. So we'll just see whether the creation process of a new employee works fine with that particular form. So you can see the list of forms here. So employee new form. So this is a way for personal details, current address, permanent address, and employee details will be provided here. So this is the first thing. Right now, I'm going to show you one thing. Name is the only mandatory field here. So I can add a particular name. So I can add a name like Lazim, right? And I can simply, I'm not going to add any detail here, and I'm going to click on submit. And you can see a basic thing like Lazim, which comes under the designation of project manager and under the department projects has been simply created. And I can go here, I can edit it if I want to. I can select all the different departments I've already created, the different designations I've already created. So this will be coming as a default thing. But the important thing to notice here is that the only mandatory field is name, right? And I can just give the name and create an employee. There will be situations in which, even though there are some mandatory fields set, we want conditional dependencies. And this is where the form guardian comes into picture. So how can we move forward with this? We can return back to form, and with respect to employee form new, there's a settings option. Here you will be able to set form guardians. How? I can add rules. So when it comes to creating an employee, what kind of a rule do you want to set? Can just anyone write something down in the chat box, and I'll be looking into it and I'll be creating some kind of dependencies for example, if if it's a permanent employee, all right, so I can go like if the employee type is full time, then there should be an official email address here. So if you have given the employee type as full time and you have a vacant official email space there, a field there, it should show an error. I'm just putting forward a simple use case or a situation, or maybe we'll work with that. All right, if it's a full-time employee, then you should provide an official email address. So I'm going to give the full name here. I'm not going to mention the date of birth. Marital status will be single. And yes, the employee type is full. Right now, I can provide it like this. I can simply submit it, right? No issues. But that shouldn't be the case. So I'm returning back and I'm going to edit. I'm going to add a role. What should be the name of this particular role that I'm going to add? Something like mandatory mandatory official email address. Mandatory official email address. And what should be the error message? Please add official email address. So few people will be wondering, isn't this an easy process if you simply give the official email address? If we keep it as a mandatory field, then everything is going to be easy, right? But that's not the case. For every employee that you're creating, you don't necessarily want the official email address. For some part-time employees, let's go back and let's see what are the different drop downs available under employee type. You can see part-time, intern, on contract, and everything. So if it's an on contract employee or if it's an intern, you don't have to necessarily give an official email address, right? So we cannot always keep official email field as a mandatory field. So in such situations where the dependency of official email address comes under employee type given here. So here, let's keep the employee type as full-time itself, and let's keep working on the rule. I'm going to add a filter here. So what will be the filter? What will be the filter? So if the employee type is full-time, then you need to add another filter, and which means both of these conditions has to be satisfied. Then the official email is empty. So let me just explain it like this. When the employee type is full-time and when the official email address field is empty, then an error message will be showing that please add official email address. And I'm going to give a name for this rule, and that is mandatory official email address. So earlier, I can simply keep it like this, all the fields, and click on submit. And let's see what happens right now. We can just go here and employee type and official email. Yes, I've given everything right. The error message, the name, and everything is shown. If you want to disable it, you can disable it as well. Let me just submit it. Yes. So this time we have the name, no other mandatory fields. Employee type is full-time, no official email given. I cannot submit things. Here you have an error message, a validation message. So some kind of an official email has to be given. So I could write azim.mubarak at something Gmail itself. We'll just go with Gmail itself and we'll submit it. So this is the case. And let me just remove this and I'm going to show it to you. Employee type, I'm keeping it as part-time. So employee type part-time, is there any dependency right now? Is there any rule right now associating both of them, the employee type and the official email address? No, so I can easily submit it. So that is the important thing. So conditional dependencies between fields can be introduced using form guardian. That's a very important point. This is the way in which we can work out. Okay, so I was expecting some messages in the chat box. If someone can provide me some particular conditions like this, then I'll be happy to work it out. Anyone? Okay, someone has asked me to, yes, Vedika has asked me to just open it once again and show the department section. The department section, yes, so you have the date of joining, the employee type, the status, the department, the designation, the job title, and she has asked me to keep a validation when, yes, others is present, Vedika. So if the department is other, then you need to provide a job title, right? Yes. Let me just create another rule here. Okay, one very important thing I want to mention is that if you have multiple forms that you have created against employees, then for the first form and the third form, you have the same validation. You want to provide the same validation, then you have to go inside each of these forms and then provide those validations. That is very key. You cannot give a general validation for all the different forms and then add forms to the list or something like that. That doesn't work like it. Right now, you have to go inside each and every form. And if you have the same validation for multiple forms also, you have to create multiple rules against each of those forms. So that's important. So let's just go with the one that Vedic has asked me to. And I think, let me just confirm, mandatory job title. And what Vedika has asked me is to provide, please add job title. And when the department is other and the job title is empty. So if I'm selecting the department as other, then the job title should be empty. It shouldn't be empty. There should be something there. And if you have not entered it, like, see, like this, you will be getting a validation message like, please add job title. Here I should be adding something. If it's other, if it's then estimations specialist, I need to add something there and I can submit it. So this is the way Form Guardian works. And as of now, Form Guardian only, that particular functionality works only under employee section. You can create multiple forms against all of the different modules that I've just shown to you earlier. I'm quite sure that everybody's aware of that. And right now under employees, we get the option to add rules of Form Guardians. If you're having any doubts, please mention this. If you want me to show you different kinds of use cases, different kinds of conditions that you have in your mind, please write it down in the chat box. I'll be happy, I'll happily show it to you. Or you can reach out to our support team at any point of time, your service partners, everyone you can reach out and, we can just ask them to re-explain or just provide them the situations. They'll be able to show it to you how it properly works. I hope that there's no more doubts. And if there's any different use case, I'm just going to give you a few seconds, a few minutes. In fact, you can just, come up with something if you want me to show it in this webinar itself. Okay, actually it's asking me that everything is clear and you can move on. So we only had one particular update, feature update this particular week. And it is a very exciting week for me, I would say, with working with all those Form Guardians and looking at different kind of validations and how this will turn out to be useful in the future as well. All right, so if nobody's having any more use cases or anything, like there are different situations that you want to just want me to showcase, then we'll be moving on. So the Form Guardian process is done. Next, we'll be looking at enhanced warehouse transfers, optimizing logistics with multiple unit support. So simplified inventory management and support for multiple units. So let's see how this works out. Let's go to settings and let's see the different warehouses that we have. We have two warehouses. One is a default warehouse and Madeline warehouse, and we can work out between these two warehouses. Before that, let me just create a new item. Okay, I'm gonna name it as Crompton Galaxy decoration fairy light. Let me add meter as the unit. Let me keep 5% GST for that. Fine, everything is good. So 40 for a meter, I'm gonna sell it at 89. Let's save it. Okay, here it is. So the basic unit is meter. I'm gonna add another unit here. The unit name will be roll. The conversion factor will be one roll is equal to, let's say, 5 meters, and the unit price, let's keep it at 420 and save. So we have multiple units here, and if I want to, like initially, if I want to do some warehouse transfers, I'll only be able to do it in a base unit, not in any other units. Right now, I'll be able to, yes, Brompton, let me just purchase 50 meters worth. Yes, I'm going to save it. So sales price, cost price, everything is here. Stock details, yes. Remaining quantity is 50. Right now, I just want to show one more thing. Yes. So in the default warehouse, you have 50, and in Madeline warehouse, you have 0. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm gonna go back to this inventory page and just let me just search for the item. Here it is. Available 50. See, default 50, and Madeline warehouse, we have 0. Let me just do a warehouse transfer. Yeah, this will be the date from default to Madeline warehouse, Brompton. So here we have the base unit, right? 5 meters. So the new update, we have a drop down. We can select either it is in your additional unit or the alternative unit that you have provided, or you can simply set in the base unit or the default unit itself. So this will be the transfer. 5 meters it's going to be. Save. Let me just reload this. Again, we have 50 available, but 45 in your default warehouse, and in Madeline warehouse, you have 5. Okay, so this warehouse transfer was successful. Again, I can create another warehouse transfer. This time I'm going to use a different unit. Let me just select rows. And so we have one roll is equal to 5 meters, right? And again, I'm going to select the quantity as 5. So total, in reality, it is going to be 25 meters. So at the very end, if you look at the available quantity, it's going to be 50. And right now we have 45 in default. So there will be a 25, which will be subtracted from that. You will be having 20 there. And in Madeline warehouse, there will be 30. This is what's going to happen, even though you've given the quantity as 5. So you click on save and return back and you check it. Yes. So in default, you have 20, and in Madeline, you have 30. So right now we have provided the functionality to create warehouse transfers in all the different units that you have associated with that particular item. Great, isn't it? So this is the way in which warehouse transfers works, basically with multiple units supported. I'm sure nobody will be having any kind of doubts regarding the enhanced warehouse transfers. Anyone? Is there any doubts? No doubts from Vidya, Vedika, Akshay, no doubts. Great, so we'll move forward then. Enhanced user experience with the save button. This is very simple. We have introduced a different kind of a UI for the save button under 3 different modules: customer creation, employee creation, and item creation. And let me just show it to you. Customer creation, supply creation, not employee creation, supply creation, and then item creation. So here you can see the new button format, the button concept. We are slightly changing it. For customers also, the save and new has been changed. Similarly, for suppliers, save and new has been changed. Very small enhancement that we have brought in, but in the future, we'll be bringing this more and more into different modules and the different builds that we will be creating. All right. Yes. So in that manner, we have covered all our feature updates and our enhancements. And right now we'll be moving into a final segment, that is the resolved issues. First, we'll be talking about the lead conversion, that is a tax method update. So this is very important that you guys need to understand what happens when a lead is converted and how when this lead has been created and then when it has been converted into a customer. So during the lead creation process, you can see this is a basic lead creation process. Let me just show you the default forms which are present under lead, then the new lead form, and in the present lead itself, everything is selected, every field is selected. Okay, so this is the default one. So we have name, company, stage, designation, email, phone number, notes, the GST related, currency related, catalog related details, source, industry, address, city, state, / religion, zip / postal code, and country. So there is one field which is missing, which is that it is a tax method field. So generally, while you're creating a customer, you will have a tax method field, whether should be tax inclusive or exclusive, that all the bills that you will be associating with the customer. So if you're creating a lead, then converting that particular lead into a customer, you're not providing any details regarding tax method. And till last week, when that conversion was done, and if you look at the details of that customer being created from the lead, the tax method field was showing NA value. It was showing NA. Right now we have changed it to what? If you go to settings, you can go to organization settings, and in your workspace, if you're playing with multiple branches, you need to go to exactly that particular branch, and you can take a look into which is a tax method followed by the company or by the branch. Default, tax inclusive or exclusive. So moving forward, or from last week onwards, when this issue was resolved, while the lead gets converted into a customer, the field called tax method field will automatically be added, or data will be fetched from this particular place, from the organization settings. So if the default is set as tax exclusive, then for that customer also, tax exclusive will be the value. This is how it works. I hope it's clear for everyone. We have resolved it. So every time you convert a lead, so let's just work on it, right? We'll just go to the lead section, and here, let me just show it to you. In my first branch, tax exclusive, it is. So the name of the lead, Suresh. I'm not going to add anything else. Let's just save it and convert to customer. So customer ID, come here, tax method. So all the rest of the details is NA because we have not provided phone, secondary email, none of that. But there was no option to provide tax method. So it shouldn't be coming as NA. It should be the default value set under organization settings for your branch or for your workspace, for your company. That's it. That's the way this particular issue was resolved. Okay, next one, the navigation bar highlighting issue. Okay, now this is a very funny one because it's hard for me to say that nobody has noticed it. Under all of this modules, we have a lot of sub modules or different sections coming in. Under projects, we don't have something like that. So every time before last week, if you are going into the smart view of projects, you're selecting a particular project, or you are going inside a milestone, you are trying to create a task or a new milestone or something like that, this particular navigation bar's project module was not getting highlighted. Nobody noticed it. Even we found it out internally at a later point, and then we fixed this particular issue. So right now it's working fine. It's not a major bug or something like that, but just something related to the UI. And finally, the announcement table display fixed. And it's very simple, I would say. Under the announcement section, you see this particular table was not like this when there was no data. Right now, you can see that no data available is the way in which the table has been presented. It is not a broken table when the data is not present. This is a proper table, even though there is no data present. Earlier, it was a broken table, and we have fixed that as well. So that's a very simple thing. 3 different resolved issues one related to lead and conversion and your organization settings, one related to the UI, and one related to broken tables. And with that, it is time for me to ask all of you guys if you're having any questions. The Q&A section, you can shoot whatever questions that you want to ask me. The floor is yours. Anyone having any questions? The Form Guardian feature is a very important feature, I would say. We'll be bringing so much of innovation related to Form Guardian moving forward. So if you're having any doubts, I mean, all the rest were simple things, simple enhancements, some bugs that we have fixed. But Form Guardian, if you're having any doubts, please ask me right now itself. Or like I'm always telling, you can reach out to our support team. You can look at our detailed documentation to understand what all these features are. You can go through this webinar itself. The recordings will be available in YouTube and in different portals. No doubts. Everything is clear. So these are the messages I'm getting. I'm gonna give few more seconds for you guys to just think about it. And if there is anything more that you want to ask me, you can. Otherwise, we'll be winding up this particular meeting. Okay, no doubts. Okay, guys, like I was telling, it was an exciting week for me once again. Really excited to explain all these things to you in face to face, I would say, through these camera lenses. And I hope that whatever I explained was clear to everyone. And if you still having doubts, and reach out to our support team, they will be helping you out with all the doubts that you're having. Reach out to your service partners, they will be helping you out. Okay, then I think it's time to end the meeting. Great to have all of you once again for this particular meeting. We have so much of enhancements and feature updates coming in for our next week or so. And like always, I'll be meeting you there. Bye-bye.